Poll shows that 60% of Americans, is this working? 60% of Americans disapprove of how Democrats handle the government shutdown, which explains why Democrats are so desperate to shift attention away from the shutdown they created, or what I like to refer to as the Democrat baby tantrum. But the Sunday talk shows really wouldn't let them get away from the topic. Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy was in the hot seat and took to the Democrat playbook for claiming that Trump, well, why not just call him a fascist? It always seemed to work in the past.
Was this a flawed strategy to begin with? The idea of using a shutdown as leverage?
Well, Democrats didn't want this shutdown, but we have values. And so if you want Democratic votes for a budget, it has to be a moral budget that doesn't destroy our democracy. The fact of the matter is, if you don't put constraints on Donald Trump's illegality, this democracy isn't going to be here.
To go. We have a montage that could go 15 minutes long of several different Democrats saying that they were using the shutdown as leverage over Trump, the fascist. But the Democrat infighting, it's kind of been a joy to watch, isn't it, really? And watching the so-called old guard, in this case, Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, when he's asked about how he feels about the attacks coming from the new far left guard, well, it's really bringing out the pure ugliness of this whole party.
The lesson that they're learning is that Democrats are weak, and that next time we just need to hurt working people and working Americans more to get them to fold. And I don't want them to learn that lesson.
Senator, what do you say to that argument that Democrats projected weakness here?
So twofold. I have 320,000 federal employees in Virginia, and together with their families, that's probably 700,000 dependents. Getting them all back to work with 2 paychecks that they've missed restored, with protections against future firings. You know, some folks like AOC may think that's nothing. Virginians think it's an awful lot. And second, if the goal was to try to get healthcare front and center, she was not at the table with the Republicans in the Senate. And so maybe she thinks that the Republicans would have caved. Would it have been another week of SNAP recipients losing their SNAP benefits, another month of air traffic or air travelers enduring chaos and even danger?
Mm-hmm. He was one of them. He was one who voted to reopen the government. Meanwhile, another one who voted to open the government, John Fetterman, is yet again one of the only Democrats these days to tell the truth about Obamacare and the way it destroyed the healthcare industry in America.
To people that are watching, it's like the Democrats. We designed these to expire at the end of the year. This wasn't something the Republicans are taking. It's like, that's how we designed this.
That's what I've been saying. That's exactly what I've been saying. I remember when Obamacare was being pushed through, not one Republican voted for it. Zero, none. And they designed it to expire, the subsidies to expire in end of 2025. So that the cost would be lower so they could push it through and tell the American people it wasn't going to be expensive. Meanwhile, they blew through all the cost overrides, and now they're complaining that their own policy was expiring and shut the government down. Thank you, Fetterman. And I don't know what caused it, your stroke, whatever it is, you got some common sense. Terrific. Make him a Republican. Joe Biden spent 4 years driving our economy straight into the ground. His Bidenomics, socialist spending, created some of the highest inflation levels ever in this country. But the left and the media, they control somehow the damage can be reversed in the matter of months. In just a few months, I mean, Trump's been around less than a year. ABC's John Carl gets into it. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett, listen.
It's going to be more expensive.
I really don't understand where you're going in the sense that Joe Biden gave us 20%
He's not
inflation.
president. Donald Trump's president.
No, and you want us to fix the hole that Joe Biden dug right away.
Why does the president tell everybody?
The prices went up so much under Joe Biden, and inflation is way down. Inflation is about half what it was in December. This is something that's being fixed fast, and real incomes are up after dropping about $3,000 under Joe Biden. And so, sure, you can find a few things where the price is higher, but there's a whole bunch of stuff where the price is lower, like gasoline, like mortgage rates. When are we going to get the
Republican plan?
You understand that mortgage rates have gone way down, and it's much cheaper to buy a home now than it was when President Trump took office.
Right? So here's the thing. Here's the rub on that. I did economics my whole life prior to this. Prices need to come down more. And there's no question Trump should be focusing on getting the prices down faster. So take this out of The midterms are a year away. They're going to use inflation and prices in the midterms. Get it down. You want to win the midterms, get them coming. Not just gasoline and mortgage rates. Get bread, get eggs, get rent, get all rent. Renting a car, get all the prices down so that you take that away from the Democrats in the midterm elections. Right now, they still have the ball. They still got it. And you got to be careful. Get prices down, Trump. One of the slimiest Democrats out there right now is Eric Swalwell. That's saying a lot. When Charlemagne the God asks him why anyone should trust Democrats after they spent years lying about Joe Biden's mental condition, notice how that, I don't know, he has a hard time disputing that fact.
Why should we ever trust the Democratic Party after they lied to us so long about President Biden? And I'm big on this because I just read the original Senate. I'm just like, I don't see. I think that Democrats have tried every strategy except for two things: honesty and courage.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people who are courageous right now in the Democratic Party. Our bread and butter issue, our dance with the one that brought you, is healthcare. People have always trusted us on healthcare. That's our issue, from President Johnson to President Obama, to when Donald Trump tried to take it away. That's how we won the House in 2018. And now this reconciliation bill is going to take 14 million people off their health care. And so you want the party that believes in your health care and that you have a right to fight it and not go broke. And I think we have a chance to do that.
And so you shut the government down over your own policy to eliminate the subsidy that brought healthcare even more expensive. I mean, if you just read these things and talk about these things, you realize Democrats hide a lot of stuff in these stupid little bills, these 1,500, 2,000-page bills. They hide a bunch of garbage in that. You just read it, call them out on it. They can't win, but they can try and win by talking about it later. The irony, Adam Schiff, that weasel who spent years lying about Russia collusion, January 6th, among other things, the man who's devoted basically his entire career to taking down President Trump, actually had the nerve to say this.
That attitude that if you can make a president or a party unsuccessful, no matter what damage it might do to the country, because it's good politics, we have to get past that ruinous idea. We have to figure out a way to stop viewing each other as our enemy.
They impeached Trump twice on nothing. That guy, he sat with a gavel on the committee that impeached Trump twice on nothing. Wow, look in the mirror, dude. Michelle Obama has spent the better part of the last few months complaining about being First Lady of the United States of America for those 8 wonderful years, complaining that this country hasn't been kind enough to her. And we already know that she has no love for this country. She said it right after her husband was elected.
Let me tell you something. For the first time in my adult lifetime, I'm really proud of my country.
Did you hear that? First time in her adult life, she's embarrassed of this country. Are you kidding me? Well, she's back at it now, making claims about her own personal run for leader of the free world.
Do you think that impacts the room that we've made for a woman to be president?
Well, as we saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time. You know, we got a lot of growing up to do. And there's still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it.
What is this with the gender politics? It's incredible. How about the most capable, the most able person is the president? Just like the most capable pilot should be piloting your airplane, or the most able surgeon is doing open heart surgery on you. Not, is it her turn, Hillary? It wasn't her turn, nor was it Kamala's turn, nor will it be yours if you want to play the gender or color politics game. It's about the policies. It's about bringing prices down for the American people, period. It's not about man or woman, which brings me to The Edge, because I launched The Edge because I realized it was time to stop apologizing for being a man, for being masculine, for wanting to succeed. I'm done with that. And The Edge is exploding on this new platform. It's on YouTube, but it's exploding as a platform. I want you to continue to subscribe. Appreciate you so much. I don't want to do that soundbite of Patrick Bet-David. We've done that. He's amazing. He's the most recent person on The Edge. You have to see this. We're talking to people who are wildly successful, who've gotten their butt handed to them, but knocked down 7 times to get up 8 times. You got to hit that. You just put your camera to that little QR code right there. Press the yellow button. Again, I will never charge you a penny for this. It's not marketing. You won't get sent anything. It just tells YouTube that you're supporting this show, and it's blowing up, folks. I love it. I love you for doing it. YouTube.com/@EricBollingTheEdge. YouTube.com/EricBollingTheEdge. Subscribe. Thank you for your viewership. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your subscription very much. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.